Alright, so I got one thing to point on out from episode 1 that alluded to all of this. Gearless Joe. It's not like I can fight without gear. But let's get right into this review. So, episode 4. We start out with a situation that we only can have 5 fights to qualify for Megalonia. We could do that over a period of 3 months with Nambu. Last episode we heard about Nambu and his big gamble, right? And it was revealed that his big gamble is to make Gearless Joe a thing. I believe that Joe will be the first fighter to fight without gear because people were so shocked and thought he was trolling in Megalo boxing to not even have gear equipped. Which is very risky because the gear makes you stronger, more powerful, but not necessarily faster, which I think is Joe's main, asset or quirk in this situation. So in order for Nambu's plan to work, he has to get 5 consecutive wins. They have to be against people of higher ranking, and he has to make Gearless Joe a thing so they can get picked for Megalonia. Now, the real dope part about this episode is the fact that I felt that we were seeing it from Joe's perspective. When he was fighting the man-eater, he was actually, he saw his foot kind of sink into the ground. You could tell something was off. In all of his other fights, he's upbeat, talking to himself. And this one, something's off. Now, initially, I was like, okay, maybe Joe's just having an off day. I was thinking he was sick originally. And that was starting to show in the actual episode. But we found out that Joe, for the first time in the series, and I do love this, experienced fear. Joe was shaking. You saw his arms shaking, and Nambu was like, you alright? We can back out, we can leave. He's all in his head, and Joe is over here just basically saying, I'm not scared. I can go in there, I can fight, I can handle this myself. Nambu, which was slipping up in this episode, honestly was letting the pressure get to him. He was yelling at Joe just like the crowd. He's like, get in there, you can't win like this, you can't win by running. You can tell, okay, Nambu's yelling at him, Joe's doing it on his own, and everyone's freaking out. This is why I like the MVP Sachio yet again for honestly getting them to both break down their acts together. Basically saying, something's off with Joe, Nambu, something's off with Joe, something's going on, and you gotta fix this. I'm glad that Sachio had a little uproar, got upset, both in their faces saying, Joe, you can't do this alone. Nambu, you're tripping just like the crowd yelling at him, and this isn't productive. This isn't working. We're not going to make it to Megalonia like that. So one thing I really wonder about Sachio is the fact that, will this be his role? Let me know if you think otherwise. Will this be his role in the anime series? Because I was thinking Sachio would be the guy to be like, his gear is off on the left side, attack him for the right. Or I'm pretty sure he likes punching on the left-hand side. Dodge this way, you can beat him. I thought that would be his role, and that's the take that I took from episode 3. But at least in episode 4, Sachio's role was, Nambu, something's off, I see it's off, was obviously off for us watching, and fix it. And then Nambu gave Joe the talk about fear and what he needs to do, and Joe inevitably started behaving better. But what do you all think? Because I'm still wondering this. What do you all think Sachio's role is in this? So all in all, Sachio gets Nambu in check. And the reason why I believe Nambu honestly was freaking out or acting like the crowd or being hyped, because this episode, this fight was the first big gamble. Joe, like I said, Joe would have needed to win 5 consecutive matches, all gearless, which is unheard of. And if they fail, if they don't at least make it to Megalonia, then they're both going to die. That's inevitable. The Yakuza boss, or not even die, they'll be tortured to some degree. Because Nambu owes money to the, I call them Yakuza, but we'll say Mafia boss. So this is the gamble. This is it. If Joe can't get past fight 1, there's no way he can get through 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually be in Megalonia, making enough noise to get there. Another important aspect of this episode that I like, one, the quote that fear is human instinct. When you know you're scared of something, whether it be performance or doing something or streaming, for example, you're fearful, but you kind of work your way through it. If you don't acknowledge you're scared, you kind of don't know how to deal with it or take these steps to deal with it. After Joe acknowledged it was fear and that he's not in this alone, despite fear, he pushed through. I like that the most. I did really like that, even when he was like, I'm not scared, I got this alone. You know what I mean? He wasn't performing as well. You just have to acknowledge that you're human. You're not perfect. It's just a human instinct. But what you decide to do after you have that fear determines how you will do or how you will be able to perform. So I like that. Life lesson, maybe. Oh yeah, and this title of this episode is Let's Dance with Death. I think they're just using death as a recurring theme. Like I said in the episode 3 review, I don't think Joe's gonna die. Someone might die for all I know because they keep saying death, but I think it's just kind of the theme that they're going with. So after Joe got the W, which was pretty great, the next 2 fights were fast forwarded through. I guess that's more so to progress the anime. I would have personally liked to see the fights, or at least a little bit more of the scenes. But now we got Joe with 3 consecutive wins. He's going to need to set up a 4th fight, and that's going to lead us right into episode 5, with Joe being in rank 102nd place. So at the end of episode 4, this was extremely interesting and cool to see that Nambu honestly only has 2 more fights. They made it all the way up from 257th to 102nd place. He needs a high-ranking contestant to make some noise for one, or a high-ranking opponent to make some noise, show off Gearless Joe, and he asked the guy at the end to say, hey, I want nobody that's I want someone that is 50th place or lower. He's like, I need that fight. I need it. So the guy was obviously an old friend because he said if it isn't Nambu, obviously showing that Nambu has been in this space yet again, and he says, I got the perfect fighter for you. He's in 17th place. Then the fighter went up to him and recognized Nambu, and Nambu's just sitting there in shock. It's Aragaki, someone that Nambu had history with. Aragaki said if it isn't Coach Nambu, I'm paraphrasing of course, and now that just kind of leaves you on the cliffhanger episode 4 saying, alright, now we're finally getting Nambu's backstory. So quick thoughts on episode 4. A great deal of emotion seeing it from Joel's perspective, the hazy look on his eyes, the fear was the most amazing thing in that. I loved Sachio was the MVP of the match, getting Nambu and Joe together, and Nambu had the pressure just honestly getting to him because this was the gamble, this was the start. By the end, he seems more confident saying, hey, we might be able to pull this off. Just by his demeanor, because he already won 3 wins and only needs 2 more. So episode 5 starts off extremely dark. We find out through this episode that Aragaki actually lost his legs in the war, and before he left off to the war, that he was being coached by Nambu. Nambu was teaching him, telling him, like, you know, we're fighting for tomorrow, that's what we're training for, this is your space, this is your home. Like, you know, I mean, giving them a sense of like, yo, we can do this together. Lo and behold, we lost Aragaki in the war. He went missing in action. And I believe that this is the main reason why Nambu went to the slums or couldn't deal with Megalo boxing after losing. I can't find the term right now, someone can let me know. But by losing him, he was going to overcome with grief, I assume. And that's how he ended up going to the underground, drinking, maybe being in the slums, whatever. The whole 9 as to his current situation probably stems from Aragaki and losing him. On Aragaki's side, I believe Aragaki is upset at Nambu because since Nambu left the boxing state and he came back through, you know, being depressed and stuff, they even showed at one point, which was super dark for the series, that like he's almost about to kill himself. But the ticket that Nambu gave him as a good luck charm kept him alive. He kept that and he just decided not to go through with it. The thing is about Aragaki is I think that when he got back into Megalo boxing, he wanted Nambu to reach out to him again. Possibly not knowing that Nambu knew he was or thought he was missing in action. So Aragaki is ranked 17th place. Like the top 17 out of 256 before Joe got in fighters. He's making headlines. He was the favorite to be one of the people picked for Megalo boxing. I think that Aragaki honestly was thinking is, how did you not visit me? How did you not see me? How did you not know I was here when I got back to training and got back to Megalo boxing? But we know that Nambu, realistically, he probably wasn't watching Megalo boxing after him. He was in the slums. He wasn't in the big city paying attention, doing the underground boxing and the hustles and such. And doctors even told Aragaki that he may become bedridden as a result of Megalo boxing, that he should stop, that he should relax, but he still decided to go on it. So he had to deal with coming back from war, losing his legs, not being able to Megalo box, even though he's doing it and taking a risk at it. And that changed his personality. He seemed like a pretty cool dude when Nambu was coaching him, just a determined fighter, believing he can go the distance, But in this episode, we find out that this guy honestly just takes out opponents, like really, really gets at them. He even told Nambu to say, hey, I want to fight Joe. I'm eager to fight Joe because I want to take him out, man, because of you, because of the grudge and the resentment he holds. It's wrong he holds that resentment, but I feel like his goal or his aim is to honestly get back at the world. I lost my legs, I'm upset, I'm going to take it out on every opponent that I can and do the most damage to them. And now that Nambu's back in his life, he's like, you know what, Nambu? I'm going to take out Joe. I'm going to mess up your chances of being there, and I'm really, really going to hurt him. Because he just wants to get back at the world. Now, what I love about Joe is Joe realizes they have history. He doesn't know the details, but what I really, really like is Joe's honestly like, I don't care. This is between y'all. I want to box. I want to get to Megalonia. He didn't give Nambu inspirational words. He's like, I'm just going to beat him up. I'm just going to win this match, Which rolls us into episode 6 where the actual fight goes on. And initially, Joe is honestly getting the hands most of the fight, which I do like. Not that Joe's losing, but we gotta realize that Joe's only had 3 official Megalo boxing battles or matches, right? Aragaki is 17th place. To make it all the way up to 17th place, not doing it the way Joe was doing, just taking out people eons higher than you, I think that Aragaki has been established here. He's done many battles. He's gotten his title or known for really taking out his opponents because he's been maintaining that. So obviously someone in 17th place, like when compared to Maneater, who was, I forgot his place, it slips my mind right now, but he's a refined boxer. One of the people that would have been potentially chosen for Megalonia, right? So obviously he has more skill. So him taking out Joe a couple times makes a lot of sense in my opinion. One thing is we finally discover what Joe's quirk is, which is ironic, I must say. But Joe's quirk is that he has extreme endurance, which is ironically just like Hajime no Ippo. For those that are familiar with Ippo, you might get what I'm saying. For those that don't, Hajime no Ippo is, I believe, a 90s anime, long-going boxing anime, extremely popular. And the thing is about Ippo is like he's a really nice guy. He really wasn't much of a fighter. He kind of got bullied. But the thing is about Ippo is having this crazy endurance, always able to get up again. That was his thing. Like Ippo, I believe, if I'm wrong, correct me, but Ippo in some sense, he used to carry like super large fish or carry crates, or like he was always, weightlifting stuff just as a job, you got getting paid, right? But by him doing all that lifting continually, when he switched over to boxing, his body was naturally fit, toned. He was really, really strong and had a lot of endurance from all that work that he did. That paid off in boxing by his opponents really not being able to take him out and giving him enough time to figure out how to beat him. I think that's going to be a thing about Joe. Like, I mean, he gets knocked out pretty fast, but he gets back up. And Nambu even said the reason why Joe is so good now is because of his endurance. He's thrown all of those underground fights, meaning he's continually gotten beat up, Of course, for the hustle, but those are real punches. So Joe started making some momentum, getting some hits back on Aragaki. I believe by round 4, 3, probably not, but I want to say by round 4 or 5, he wins by a TKO. I like this a lot because even though Joe was starting to be able to fight him back, I just didn't see, or at least I couldn't picture Joe winning by a knockout. Like unless Aragaki got too upset and started playing off, started being off because he was upset at Nambu and their history and that was throwing him off. But I didn't see Joe winning a straight up fist fight with him initially. It didn't seem realistic to me that he'd be able to go from 102nd place to knocking out the 17th place. Because Joe is that good. He's just that talented. And the reason why he won by TKO is because that the leg piece, I'm surprised I haven't spoken that yet. The legs that Aragaki had to replace his current legs that he now boxes on, I guess he just took too much damage. That's why his coach, Aragaki's coach, was like, end this fast. Because Aragaki's coach knows if he goes so much longer, I was going to call off the match myself because he doesn't want Aragaki to become bedridden. So Aragaki by boxing is actually risking becoming bedridden, but he couldn't let go of boxing, so he took the option of getting these legs added on. So post-match, him, Aragaki, and Nambu have a conversation, and I didn't catch it the first time. I saw it the second time. I thought he was just talking about maybe quitting, but he's decided to say, hey, you know, I was looking for closure for beating Joe and getting back at you since I was kind of resentful. I wanted closure from winning, right? But by the end, he decides to say, I'm going to let go of my resentment. I'm going to stop Megalo boxing, and I'm going to live for tomorrow, which is what Nambu used to say to him all the time while coaching him. That was really nice. I was like, oh man, okay, we got some, you know, we got this enemy that's like, I need to take you out. Now he's like, I learned my lesson. You know, I can finally move on. That was a pretty nice scene. I really like what they did there. Alright, so the interesting thing, this got me hype at the end. The third fighter for the Megalonia tournament has been announced. I like his look, by the way. His name is Glenn Burrows. Sounds kind of fancy. He's known as the Bloody Lion. The man looks huge and refined. I was like, okay, this is going to be an interesting fight between Joe and him if they fight each other. I really think I think that will be when Joe gets to Megalonia. That'll be his first fight. Because I remember they were talking about Yuri fighting the second place guy, or at least the other guy champion from like episode, we'll say 2 or 3, whenever he was training. I think Yuri will fight him first, and then of course it'll be Yuri and Joe. That's my prediction. But the thing is that we don't have a fourth person for Megalonia yet. And you know, they'll be announced soon. There's like a month left. And I really like that. I'm guessing a reporter or someone in the crowd was just like, will Gearless Joe be joining as the fourth person? You know, like Gearless Joe is making a name for himself. Mainly because Aragaki was one of the favorites to be chosen. He was one of the people predicted to join Megalonia. So now that Joe took him out and Joe's making all this noise being Gearless Joe, people would love the fact of having Gearless Joe in there. And President Shirato now knows this. Like, she replied like, you know, anyone can participate. We haven't chosen anyone yet. But I know she must be kind of hot that Joe is getting up there. I really, really like that. Another thing, again, is that Yuri, I'm assuming for the first time, is seeing Joe on the big screen. There was like a news report or whatever, a review of Joe's fight against Aragaki and his win, talking about Gearless Joe. He watched it on television screen. He was just like, wow, like, I was shocked. This man is actually coming for me. And this mysterious character, well, not mysterious, but this character we just don't know, comes talking to Yuri like, you know, there's no place for stray dogs here, man. I heard y'all got some history. We'll just take him out. I wonder if that's like his coach or his friend. I'm going with coach because he definitely wasn't a fighter, but someone associated with Yuri. Also, to jump back to my prediction where Yuri's fighting the second place guy, I believe that episode or that fight's gonna really, really give us more about Yuri's background. Like, we finally know about We finally know about Nambu's background. We got to hear a little bit more about Yuri and his relationship with President Shirato. You know, there's obviously something there in regards to he's working for her and their dream, whatever it may be. Whether it just be like money, power, or Megalo boxing being the top thing in the world. We also need to get Sachio's background. We haven't heard much on that. I predict it'll either be in episode 7 or episode 8. And also, we only got one more fight before we go to Megalonia, right? They only can set up 5 fights. We have Maneater, 2 random people we don't know. We beat Aragaki. We gotta fight whoever this last person is. I doubt it'll be number 1 because that's probably Yuri, but I'm predicting maybe 5, 6, 7. So we gotta get through another fight. I think that fight will go over Sachio's background or maybe someone he knew or his dad knew. We'll see, which I'm still predicting that maybe his dad was like an engineer or something for whoever this new fighter will be. Then we got to get into Megalonia, fight, the Bloody Lion, then fight Yuri. That's my prediction on how to go. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, how you think the rest of this will go. I would love to hear it, to see who's there. And honestly, next episode, let's get on episode 7. But thanks for checking out this review of episode 4, 5, and 6. If I missed anything interesting, do let me know. And with that being said, have a good night. I'm going to watch episode 7 after I post this video. And I'll start working on a review. Then we can get into weekly reviews. So if you enjoyed this video, Feel free to like it. If you have any feedback, let me know on things I could work on or, improve upon. Honestly, let's chat about it, man. I'm just glad to finally catch up. But thanks for watching, guys, and good night.